Good afternoon and happy 4th of July Friday here on Right Side Broadcasting Network, looking live there at the U.S. Capitol building and, of course, the White House, fresh off the heels of a great speech yesterday for the America 250 kickoff in Des Moines, Iowa. Great coverage there by Robert McNeely and Christina Loren as we are now live here at Right Side. Of course, we do know that later tonight, of course, the President and the First Lady, they'll participate in a July 4th firework special right there at the White House. And of course, we're going to monitor developments at the White House from now until that time. So you came to the right place as we bring you live coverage from the White House and anything else that happens when it comes to breaking news throughout the country, specifically at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and at all over the area when it comes to any conservative news that breaks. So we do want to wish all of you a happy 249th Independence Day, home of the brave, land of the free, home of the brave, right here in the United States of America. Great to listen to some patriotic music before the broadcast as well. A lot of you playing various music, I'm sure, at some of your barbecues out there. And I was listening to some radio on the way in, and there was a caller that called into one of the radio stations in Alabama here, and they were just saying, you know what? I've been just working a lot, and I look forward to just hanging out and staying in the air conditioning and watching some TV. Whatever you choose to do when it comes to just, celebrating July 4th from a legal perspective, of course. It's great to see our American citizens out there all around the country just having a good time today and hopefully throughout the weekend as the president celebrating a lot of wins. We know that the big, beautiful bill just passed the House yesterday. So looking forward to seeing if there are any developments with that today here at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue as it's 3:32 Eastern Time. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us on July 4th, 2025. We are 249 years young. Of course, looking forward to that America 250 big-time kickoff that just happened yesterday, but throughout the year, many events to be had, as you heard from President Trump yesterday. We can get into that a bit later. So let's do this. There's a lot of social media videos going around all about July 4th, all about Independence Day. But before we get into those videos, let's go to one from Dan Scavenino Jr., one that I really like, and I know a lot of you do too, because he posted this on X, posted it on Truth Social. And do you remember when the Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, was going on and on and on for 8 hours, 45 minutes about all the reasons why it's not a big, beautiful bill and all that? That all happened yesterday. Well, in the middle of that process for that 8 hours, 45 minutes was an actual record for the House floor speeches, if you want to call it a speech. Dan Scavino Jr. played this.
Effectively end Medicaid as we know it. Gut parts of the Affordable Care Act. What you essentially are doing by stripping health care away from the American.
When the producer laughs in your ear as well, it's funny. I mean, I love that video, and Dan Scavino Jr. A lot of different people have different memes and videos that they play, right? And that one I had to read truth. When it comes from someone that works at the White House, Dan Scavino Jr. posted that. I thought it was perfect. The comedic timing was accurate. And just a funny video. Still laughing some 24 hours since it happened. All right, let's shift now to President Trump. Of course, he posted a number of videos today as well. Let's take a look at one of them that's very patriotic, of course, on this July 4th.
This wonderful day, we celebrate our history, our heroes, our heritage, our great American flag, and our freedom. Every American heart should swell with pride. Every American family should cheer with delight. And every American patriot should be filled with joy. Because each of you lives in the most magnificent country in the history of the world. We will proclaim the ideals of the Declaration of Independence, and we will never surrender the spirit and the courage and the cause of July 4th, 1776.
Okay, so President Trump posting that earlier today as it's now 3:35 Friday, July 4th, 2025. Thanks so much for streaming in on Rumble and all the social platforms that you guys are watching on throughout this country and in some parts around the world, as we will take you to the White House if there are any developments that happen there. Of course, there's word that there may be this signing of the big, beautiful bill. Waiting to hear that from the White House. We did hear something from President Trump yesterday, talking about it on Truth Social, saying there would be a 4 o'clock event. Then he said earlier on camera, he said the signing would actually happen at 5, so that maybe the event starts at 4. We'll see what happens. We'll monitor that here on the network as it's 3:35, again, Friday, July 4th. Hopefully after this event today, you guys are maybe out there having a barbecue with some friends and family, or if you're just chilling out and watching us here on Right Side, maybe you could watch Right Side while you're cooking some burgers and hot dogs. Speaking of hot dogs, really quick before we move on with our live broadcast here in the sense of some more coverage. So that guy, Joey Chestnut, you know how he eats the Nathan hot dogs, that whole hot dog eating contest out there on Long Island? Well, I tuned in for just a quick second just to see how it was going. And at the moment that I tuned in, the announcer said, Joey just surpassed 50 hot dogs and buns in 6 minutes. Man. I could maybe eat 2 or 3, but that's a lot. Anyway, back here live at Right Side. Let's go to the Vice President, J.D. Vance. Just yesterday, visited a place that we all say, at least those that love President Trump say, we want his face on Mount Rushmore. Well, Vice President Vance actually visited Mount Rushmore yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
Hey guys, JD Vance here in beautiful Mount Rushmore. I've actually never been here. I brought my kids with us. Ush and I are having a great time visiting one of America's great national landmarks. We see this as a great occasion to celebrate Independence Day. Of course, tomorrow is the 249th birthday of our country. And we in the Trump administration, we're also celebrating the passing of the great big beautiful bill, which lowers taxes on Americans and gives us the critical resources we need to secure that southern border into the future. So however you're celebrating, wherever you're celebrating, happy Independence Day. Make it a great one.
Great to see the Vice President there just outside of Rapid City, South Dakota at the Washington Monument, of course, or the Mount Rushmore. I was thinking Washington because you look at his face, George Washington, just to the right of it. There is room for another president to be added, or if you go on the other side of the monument at Mount Rushmore, it's Abraham Lincoln, of course, and then we could have another president on that side too. So either one works. Especially with the wins that we're seeing with President Trump. And as we continue to monitor all of the developments and all of these core promises that we as a people are saying, yeah, we're for all of those 20 core promises. We can go over those a little later if you'd like. And if you want to maybe, kind of look at that as we're doing some commentary here as we await any developments there at the White House, you can go to donaldjtrump.com and look at the RNC Trump platform. It's the 20 promises to the American people. Again, I believe it's the playbook for the administration. It's kind of like getting into the huddle of offense for football and the quarterback's calling certain plays. Well, the coach has the whole playbook on the sidelines. And if you want to know the playbook, I really believe this is the playbook. It's the 20 core promises to the American people. So we're just seeing that happen each day. Slow and steady wins the race. So glad to see that happening as it's now 3:38 Friday, July 4th. Before we get to some more videos, I want to read a statement from Carolyn Levitt just yesterday in regard to the big beautiful bill. She said, quote, President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill delivers on the common sense agenda that nearly 80 million Americans voted for, the largest middle class tax cut in history, permanent border security, massive military funding, and restoring fiscal sanity. So the pro-growth policies within this historic legislation are going to fuel an economic boom like we've never seen before. The White House press secretary continuing to say President Trump looks forward to signing this One Big Beautiful Bill into law officially and to officially usher in the golden age of America. That statement from Carolyn Levitt, who President Trump just called a superstar on Truth Social. I believe that post was from yesterday, and it's true. A natural talent, but someone that is on the right side of history and perfect right in that spot there as a press secretary, delivering the president's message, and then on top of that, rebutting or refuting any of these different false narratives that try to get thrown her way. by the fake news media. But we do see in there, of course, conservative media in that press briefing room. Always good to see that, and always good to bring you those press conferences live right here on Right Side. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Matthew Alvarez. This is RSBN Live. As soon as we see any developments at the White House, we'll take you there. I hope you're having a great day, and hopefully you have off today. If you don't, I don't. There's a lot of people that may have to work even on holidays, and a shout out to all of you guys that maybe you do have off today, but maybe you've worked at Christmas before, or Thanksgiving, or New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day. In the media over the years, I've worked all those holidays, and being away from family and all that kind of stuff. That's part of what you sign up for when you're a journalist. So the point is, I'm glad to work today, even though I really would rather be with my family. I'll be with them a little bit later. It's going to be fine, and we have a great weekend planned. So still, to be able to provide this detail to you, always good to do that. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's get to a number of videos back to what we started out the broadcast with here on Right Side. If you're just joining us again, it's 3:41 Friday, July 4th. We'll be looking at a live picture from the White House a bit later tonight as well. We'll have a second broadcast where the July 4th fireworks will be going off there as the President and the First Lady will witness that, and we'll watch that together. I'm also hearing that there will be a U.S. Air Force flyover at the White House. Now, will this be something that happens there, in the next hour or so? Will it be right before the fireworks? That's why we're here. We're covering it live, and that's why you're here. We're all going to watch it together. Thanks again for doing so. The White House posted a video recently about President Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump meeting up with Dan Alexander, the freed hostage, Eden Alexander, just yesterday. Here's that video. It's great to see that. And you think about the hostages that have been returned and back to the United States. And President Trump has been in the double digits of getting people returned to our country as he continues to work to do that. And, in international news, of course, monitoring all of that, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, will be at that White House on Monday to meet with President Trump. And then, of course, the president said today he would be speaking to Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, this on the heels of a phone call with Vladimir Putin just yesterday. So he's working on, peace as much as possible when it comes to the international scene. And then when we have an international scene that is, good and at bay, then we can do those international trade deals. We can have the great accomplishments within the big, beautiful bill. We can continue on with the 20 core promises. So we've got America First, which is still wrapped up even in foreign diplomacy because it's still keeping the interests of the people at mind and heart when talking to people from around the world. And on top of that, just the humanitarian aspect of the killing, stopping it by peace, stopping the killing. That's what President Trump has always said as being a peacemaker, as a leader of the free world. So wonderful to see that, and a great moment there with Eden Alexander, who is a hostage with Hamas, released, and then met with the president and the First Lady just yesterday. And we're going to get to a video from the First Lady in just a minute from the office of the First Lady on X, and actually the White House posted it as well. She visited a children's national hospital in Washington, D.C. yesterday. We had that live coverage here, and it was good interaction. It was great to see the First Lady there with these kids that are dealing with so much, but for her to lift up their spirits. And we prayed on the air actually yesterday too for the kids, because it's something that we don't want to see anybody go through those kind of things, but it was great to see the First Lady there. We'll have that video in just a second. Let's shift back to the big beautiful bill. Now, if you didn't see this video, it's on X and it's on Truth Social, and it's from the White House, and it's all about, we've heard these sayings, the receipts. You have the receipts. That means you have the proof. You have the evidence. Well, let's take a look at that big, beautiful bill receipt. The creativity over there at that White House is great to see, and it's awesome because it's coming from an outsider perspective. It's not this always prim and proper, everything's got to be a certain way. It's hey, tell it like it is, and that's what President Trump, as you guys know, that's why just a portion of us may have voted for him just because he tells it like it is, and then you like the common sense leadership, and then the America First policies and all that. And then being an alpha male, somebody says, you know what, I'm going to negotiate this, get this taken care of. That's a great thing. People want that, at least on the right side of history, or at least the majority of this nation. We have to remember, like, we know that in 2016, 2017, and then 2019, 2020, and then 24, 25, President Trump won all three elections. Let's be straight up about that. We know what happened in 2020. So in 2024, it was simple. The motto was too big to rig. Well, that's what happened. We saw the majority of the country go all back to President Trump. You look at those swing states. He won them all in the first go-around. He won them all in the second go-around. And he won them all in the third as well. We saw the evidence, we saw the proof in the pudding, and even the Chinese government, according to reporting from the great John Solomon, he was saying that the fact that some of the various election information, the ballots were sent over from China already filled out for Biden. This is a report that was a big report that happened just a few weeks back. I mean, and all the other videos that we've seen of people stuffing the mailboxes and all that. We know how it worked, but hey, now we move on, and we learned from those things. We made it too big to rig. And then President Trump also saying, even after this big, beautiful bill, that there's going to be a securing elections style of bill. That's one of those 20 core promises that we talk about here at the network. So maybe we'll dive into some of that in a bit. Those 20 core promises are always good to just keep on the top of our mind, because that's what the reform of this nation's all about. Again, if you're just joining us right now, 3:47, as soon as we see any feed at the White House, we'll take you there live, as we've been hearing that there may be this big, beautiful bill signing. President Trump talked about it yesterday on Truth Social, and also at the Air Force One press gaggle that was outside on the way to Iowa, saying that there would be a signing going on. Looking forward to, overall, though, the July 4th great moments when it comes to the U.S. Air Force. They're going to be flying over the White House within, whether it's an hour or throughout the evening. We'll be here live for any events and any live coverage, of course, including later tonight. We'll be back here live at 8:30 Eastern, as the President and the First Lady will be taking part in all of the July 4th fireworks. So we're going to have all that for you. Again, if you're just joining us, happy 249th Independence Day. So glad you're with us, as we are now exactly 365 days away from our country being 250 years young. What a time, what a monumental time that'll be back there in Iowa in 365 days from now. Before we move on and show you some more of the social media videos that are going around on X and True Social when it comes to people like, Dan Cavino Jr., President Trump, the First Lady as well. We have a number of great accomplishments that we've seen, but also some patriotic videos that have freshly been posted. So we're going to check those out. Before we go to all of that, I do want to tell you about some breaking news from RSBN when it comes to All Family Pharmacy, known for standing up for, of course, medical freedom. They just launched, get this, the biggest sale of the year. It's now through July 13. It's a buy one, get one free on Ivermectin, Mebendazole, hydroxychloroquine for the 200 milligram amount there. That means whatever you order, they'll double it. 30 capsules will go up to 60, 90 becomes 180. No insurance, no red tape, doctor's prescription included. And while big chains may shut you out, All Family Pharmacy is stepping up, giving patriots just like you the power to choose. So allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. That's RSBN is the slash there at allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. You can use that RSBN promo code to order now. Great stuff there. All Family Pharmacy right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. All right, so we saw the One Big Beautiful Bill receipts video from the White House moments ago, and we started our broadcast about 20 minutes ago. We may play a few of those videos again. There's one that I just really like from Dan Cavino Jr. Perfect comedic timing. Maybe we'll get back to that in a second, but let's do this. let's shift to yesterday's coverage right here on Right Side, where the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, decided, hey, you know what? We're going to go and we're going to visit children at the National Hospital in Washington, D.C. It was a great moment to see her there encouraging the young patriots of our country. So let's take you back there from the White House video here of the First Lady's visit to the Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C.
Happy July 4th. So what do you like to do? Do you like sport? Do you like dancing? Do you like music? What do you like?
I play football.
You play football?
I play soccer.
That's soccer.
I play golf.
Golf?
Gymnastics.
Are you
I play
good?
games.
Yeah? Very good.
I like doing gymnastics, dance, and singing.
Singing. Which songs you like? What do you like? What music you like?
Like pop music.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this new movie called K-pop Demon Hunters that I really like.
That's very
And so
nice.
I like it.
That's beautiful.
And if you'd like to check any more of the context of that coverage, we actually aired that live yesterday at about 10:30 in the morning. So you can go on Rumble or wherever you watch Right Side and actually watch that entire broadcast. It was just really heartfelt, but also it breaks your heart to see that kind of thing there. Obviously these kids are going through so much, but awesome to see the First Lady of the United States there, brightening up their spirits, and they're all happy being there with her. And it was pretty cool. They actually went outside after meeting there in that room to this healing garden. So there's another group of kids there. And they were putting up like patriotic things, American flags, that kind of thing at the garden. So great stuff if you want to check that out. Also, speaking of that, there's a lot of live material that we cover day in and day out here at Right Side. So just because if it's not live right now, if it's just a replay that's from a day ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago, some of the people that we're bringing on, these interviews that we have, are people from on the right side of history. These are really good articulating type of people that are talking about our country and talking about what's next. And we cover the news here at the network, and when it comes to all sorts of coverage, press briefings, when President Trump signs great bills into law, that kind of thing. All sorts of coverage here at the network, including that trip from President Trump down to Florida for Alligator Alcatraz with Governor Ron DeSantis the other day, and on. So thanks so much for choosing Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is your answer to the fake news media, of course. As we know, there's a lot of conservative media out there now. It's great to see that, because this is the solution to the lies on the left. It's the mainstream way. It's been the way that way for several decades, unfortunately. And they all sounded good. They looked good, or some of them. And they were able to deliver the news. Here's the news tonight, and it was a bunch of BS. We're not going to get that here. This is all about common sense. I wear my heart on my sleeve sometimes, because it's, sometimes that's just the way I am. I just want to know that our country is going in that right direction. And we know with President Trump it is. And it's all about God, family, and country here at Right Side. And I believe as long as that continues, the conservative media is always going to be on the right side of history, with God, family, and country at the center. And within that country aspect, that's when we're talking about conservatism and freedom and closed borders and law and order and all of the things that we talk about here at the network. So let's go to President Trump's Truth Social post from just yesterday, talking about the big, beautiful bill. So he said the Republicans in the House of Representatives have just passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Our party is united like never before, and our country is hot. We are going to have a signing celebration at the White House, which is today, of course. It says at 4 o'clock Eastern, according to the president. All congressmen and women and senators are invited. Together, we will celebrate our nation's independence and the beginning of our new golden age. The people of the United States of America will be richer, safer, and prouder than ever before. Thank you to the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, and all of the wonderful Republican members of Congress who helped us deliver on our promises, and so much more. Together, we can do things that were not even imagined possible less than 1 year ago. We will keep working and winning. Congratulations, America. So great to see that from the president yesterday. Speaking of the president, speaking of yesterday, let's go back to Des Moines, Iowa, when President Trump spoke about promises made, promises kept. Let's take a look.
Iowa and promised that the festivities would begin right here at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. And tonight, here I am. Okay? Promises kept. Promises kept. It's an honor, too. It's an honor because you've been with me from the beginning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And quite the crowd there at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. That's the site of the America 250 kickoff from just yesterday. And actually, on the White House website, when you go to actually, it's america250.org or com. I forget which one it is, but there's an actual countdown clock. So right now it'll say 365 days and however many hours and minutes left, or 364 plus hours and days left. Or minutes left. So you can check that countdown clock if you'd like. I posted that on my Truth Social at Matthew Alvarez. It's about 3:56 Eastern time. Awaiting any development there at the White House. We'll take you there live as soon as we see something here at the network. Also, we know that the First Lady and the President, they will be participating in that July 4th fireworks display tonight. So looking forward to seeing that. In the meantime, let's go back out there to Des Moines, Iowa. Yet another great soundbite from President Trump. As you remember, hours before the president's speech, we heard from Danny Goki, one of the singers there, Lee Greenwood, saying God bless the USA. But also on top of that, Robert McNeely and Christina Loren with Right Side Broadcasting Network. Their great commentary, plus interviewing a lot of great people, the everyday Americans, and that's all of us. I mean, we're not trying to be something we're not here. We just want to resonate with you and tell it like it is, and that's what we've been doing here for a long time. 2015 was when Right Side started, so this is 10 years in. And it's great to be a part of this network. I've been here since September 3rd of 2022, covered a lot of rallies out there. And actually, speaking of that, today's Friday, so we're going to do a flashback Friday in a minute, and it has to do with being out there in Iowa as well. So before we get to that, let's continue on with President Trump from just yesterday.
To fund improvements and enhanced experiences across the park system, for this anniversary, I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low for Americans, and we're going to do that. The national parks will be about America first. We're going to take it America first for the national parks. And these are just a few of the many programs, initiatives, celebrations that will renew for our national pride. We're going to have great pride. I think we do have great pride. I think we have more pride and more spirit in our country right now than we've had in 50 years.
And another thing we like about President Trump, of course, is he's open about his faith in God, in Jesus, and it's great to see that. And he also spoke about, the faith community praying for our nation. I mean, it's something that some people may say, praying is weak and praying is a crutch. Well, last time I checked, God created everything out of nothing. I kind of would rather be on his team than act like he's not around, you know what I mean? So anyway, President Trump speaking about this just yesterday, just praying for our nation and as we move forward. And hopefully one of these days, there will be a massive, massive revival in the United States of America, where God's Spirit moves, where people get saved and encouraged. And those of you that may not believe in Jesus, it's all about conservatism and freedom in this country. So we're glad to have everyone watch here at the network and to be a family of Americans on this July 4th, on this 249th Independence Day, as we are 365 days away from 250. It'll be great to see that coming up. Let's go to President Trump one more time from yesterday in Iowa, talking about praying for our nation.
As we prepare to celebrate 2.5 centuries of freedom, I'm inviting America's great religious communities to pray for our nation and for our people. From the beginning, this has always been a country sustained and strengthened by prayer. So important. If we bring religion back stronger, you're going to see everything get better and better and better. You're going to see it get better and better. So as we chart our course toward the next 250 years, let us rededicate ourselves to one nation under God. right?
He said something really key there. He said rededicate. And, you know, a lot of us brought up in this country, you know, you're thinking about faith, right? And sometimes you brought up a certain faith and maybe then you rededicate to that faith. And it's always usually after a time of, you know, exploring life and or going up through ups and downs, and you're just like, okay, you know what? No, I'm rededicating my life, you know, and that's something I know I did back in the day. I was brought up a Christian, and it's easy to be, you know, brought up in this free country, and, you know, you go to church and you have a heart for God and all that, but then, you know, life happens and you're like, okay, so how do I handle this? And you figure it out, you learn. Life's a classroom, right? And then you also can rededicate your life to God. You can, you know, pray to Jesus or pray to God and just be like, God, help me, you know, and really seek Him. And the Bible says if you seek, you'll find. If you want to test that, it's allowed. If you want to seek God and find Him, I mean, it's something that is one of the best things on earth to do. I think number one, actually, because the greatest commandment, to love the Lord God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, so, and your neighbor as yourself. So I really think it's important stuff, and it's a great lesson to learn through life. Anyway, I'm speaking like I'm like 85 years old or something here. Anyway, all right, let's do this. Let's go to a flashback Friday in Council Bluffs, Iowa. This was, I think it was in 24, it might have been 23. The years, they do come together when it comes to the campaign trail, because we know that at Right Side, there are a lot of rallies, and there will be, I thought about this earlier, towards the end of President Trump's term in 27, 28, think about the amount of rallies that are going to happen. President Trump is probably going to hit that campaign trail for whoever he endorses to be the next president of the United States. It'd be kind of fun. And I'm sure conservative media will be covering it. And I know Right Side Broadcasting Network will definitely cover it, as we are live right now at 4:02, Friday, July 4th. Thanks again for streaming in. As soon as we see a live picture there at the White House, we'll take you there live. As the president said on Truth Social yesterday, that at 4 o'clock, and then he also said in an interview outside of Air Force One that there would be a bill signing that according to the president. So we're just following what he was saying at 5 o'clock. So we're going to just monitor the developments here. But we do know definitely tonight, at 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll start our coverage at 8:30. The President and the First Lady will partake in or participate in the July 4th fireworks celebration. So looking forward to that. Before we get to the Flashback Friday, let's talk about Colonial Metals Group, one of our great sponsors here at Right Side. So all you have to do is go to freegoldguide.com/RSBN, and you'll get all the information you need on gold and silver as a backup to the dollar. You can protect your IRA or 401k with gold, all 100% tax-free. And always great to get something for free. And you can do that as the first step of interest in Colonial Metals Group, freegoldguide.com/RSBN. Let's go to callsheet.com/RSBN as well. Who will President Trump pardon this year is one of the questions people are asking on Callsheet. There's a lot of different things going on with this great website, callsheet.com/RSBN. We know this, that these are the real money markets, people trading on what they think will happen. They're often more accurate than polls because money's on the line. So Callsheet, we're told, has, get this, more than 1 million users and has facilitated over $2 billion worth of trades. So I do like to check out the app from time to time. We pretty much do that here live on the network just to see what people are talking about. I mean, it could be sports, technology, politics, faith, a lot of different things. Inflation, elections, that kind of thing. It's a great way to sense where the public is leaning beyond headlines or vibes. So if you'd like to try it out, Callsheet is giving $10 to anyone who signs up using the link. So it's callsheet.com/RSBN and trades $100. So 4:04 Eastern. Some great sponsors here at Right Side. Let's go now finally to Flashback Friday, Council Bluffs, Iowa. I was on the campaign trail with this awesome network, Right Side Broadcasting Network. Check it out. this morning when she said that President Trump is the real deal. And you also said he's saving America and to save the world.
He's saving the world. My God, I mean, he is tough. He doesn't hold anything back, and I like that about him. He's not afraid. He's like a lion. He is the lion. He roars, and that just makes people like, oh, shoot, let me step into my power. Oh, my God, you know? So I love that about him.
Rain or shine, snow or windiness, whatever. We're there live, and it's great to see it. And I remember that interview to this day. I remember it getting some traction on social media and that kind of thing. Anyway, so 4:06 Eastern, Friday, July 4th. Let's do this. We have one more video to play. If you are just joining us now, we started at 3:30 Eastern. Played a lot of videos since then, a lot of social media videos from the White House, President Trump's account, the Office of the First Lady's account, also Dan Cavino Jr. And if we have any sort of delay at all from going to the White House, as in if we don't see a feed for just a few more minutes, we may play this other video, this comedic timing video that Dan Scavino posted yesterday. I still love it to this day because it's just good to laugh. All right, anyway, let's go to Peter Navaro, his reaction to the one big, beautiful bill passing. Take a look.
A big and beautiful Trumpian congrats to Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, and a firmly united Republican Congress on getting a big, beautiful bill to the finish line in record time. Here in the White House, hats off to Ledge Affairs, Kevin Hassett and James Blair for their yeoman steerage. And of course, the boss was and will forever be the closer.
The great Peter Navaro reacting to the one big beautiful bill pretty recently, and there's a lot of posts from a number of departments on X and Truth Social wishing all of us a happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, of course our 249th Independence Day, and it's all about freedom, and it's great that we have a free nation. We want to keep it that way, and we're glad to have President Trump and the team in office taking care of business, and we monitor the latest, of course, and we'll go through those 20 core promises in just a second. We might do it at a pretty fast clip at lightning speed because we may be going to the White House any minute from now as we are seeing that there's a possible development there, of course, as the president was talking about yesterday on Truth Social and at the quick press gaggle outside of the Air Force One, the plane there, about the fact that this is going to be quite the event. And also, I heard a couple times I've heard this, that the U.S. Air Force will be involved in the sense of some flyovers. So will that be during this event here? Will that be tonight when it comes to the firework display? Again, you could join us at 8:30 tonight if you'd like. Maybe this will be after a few hot dogs or hamburgers, that kind of thing, and you could just want to watch. Also, if you're out and about, maybe you're at a picnic or just having a good time with people, if you want to put up this feed from Right Side Broadcasting Network on maybe an iPad or on a TV somewhere, let's be honest, we have to sell ourselves in a way because there's still a lot of people out there that don't watch, not just Right Side, but don't even really know about the whole conservative media thing. I mean, trust me, there's a lot of people that watch Right Side. The numbers are pretty awesome. I mean, we're talking in the millions and millions of people. Combining the election night and Inauguration Day, more than 11 million people watching on all the different platforms. But if you will be able to tell more people about conservative media, they could start getting off of that terrible false narrative from the left wing and the mainstream networks that are out there. I don't want to work at any of those mainstream networks. I don't, because I know what it's about over there. I worked in it in local news over the years, about 18 years worth of that. And I kind of am very glad that there is this whole new thing that's been going on called conservative media. Started out by, in my opinion, the great and late Rush Limbaugh. And it's just awesome to see as the years went on, President Trump calling out the fake news. I mean, in the first administration, our heads were spinning. He was saying to Jim Acosta, sit down, you're fake news. I mean, and I'm like, what? Did the President of the United States just say that to Jim Acosta? Yes, he did. Amen. Get it, President Trump. Anyway, 4:10. Let's go to some other news as we continue on and wait for a live feed there in the White House. We do know that the June jobs report just came in, and the numbers are really good. 147,000 people just in June alone, 30-day time span, gained employment. Unemployment dropped to 4.1%. So good numbers there for the summertime. So when President Trump says, about a year ago, our nation was cold as ice, but now we're the hottest nation on earth, he means it, and we see it. And we are still monitoring all of these reforms that are happening in our country. If you look at the United Kingdom right now, not doing the greatest in the sense of freedom of speech and all these things, but we do know Nigel Farage is over there saying, hey, let's call this Reform UK. Well, in a way, this is a reform of the United States of America, building it to a place that is much better than what it was before. And hopefully it'll all stay intact even into the next administration and on through, justice being served, but also all of the executive orders, all of the laws being signed, all the bills being signed into law and the like. So let's go to some of the 20 core promises quickly. We'll just review some of those. I always have that on the list here at the network because, again, it's indirectly a Bible of sorts when it comes to conservatism and it comes to freedom in this country. So let's go through these 20, and then we may play a couple more videos before we get live there to the White House. So these are really, really important, and I know that just reading a list isn't the most entertaining thing, but this is still the playbook for the White House. So the 20 promises to all of us on this July 4th, 2025. Number 1, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Check. We've got that going on. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. We're seeing that happen as well. End inflation and make America affordable again. That's number 3. Number 4, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Number 5, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Number 6, large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips, no tax on overtime pay, no tax for social security benefits for seniors. Number 7, always my favorite one, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Number 8, they're all really important though. Number 8, prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country, all made in America, aka the Golden Dome for America, which is part of this big, beautiful bill that will be signed into law by President Trump. Number 9, also a really big one, end the weaponization of government against the American people. Number 10 out of 20, stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels, crush gang violence, and lock up violent offenders. We're seeing that happen. We're also seeing the United States military boots on the ground at our southern border because President Trump, as soon as he stepped in the White House, he's signing executive orders saying that there's a national emergency on the southern border. So not only the National Guard, but the Army, the Marines, the U.S. Coast Guard, the Navy, and Customs Border Protection agents all there along the border. And now, through the big, beautiful bill, we're going to have the entire wall be completed. We're going to see it finished in this administration. Number 11, rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. I'm not going to just gloss over that one. Unfortunately, there have been things that have happened in D.C., as we know, everyday crimes, but also the specific crimes of either murder or carjackings, that kind of thing, knowing that law and order needs to happen in our nation's capital and our cities around the country. We hope to God that this Mamdani guy doesn't get into New York City, the communist, but here's the thing. If he does, then it really will show the difference between what is the right side of history and the wrong side of history, what is true, what is a lie, what is good, what is evil. And it'll make it really clear because it'll make Los Angeles and Gavin Newsom, who President Trump so rightly calls him that name, look like, just a walk in the park. We think LA, oh wow, they got all these mob people out there and they're running around and lighting things on fire. If we get that guy in office there as a mayor, who knows what will happen. So we'll see what happens there. Also, let's go to number 12, strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. These are the 20 core promises to the American people. This is the White House playbook, in my opinion, for the reform of our country. Number 13, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. Number 14, fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. And the only cuts that are happening there with Medicaid are anything to do with waste, fraud, and abuse, specifically people that aren't even citizens in our country. They will no longer, through the big beautiful bill, be getting these kind of things. Number 15, cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. Before we continue, I want to double check that the Senate didn't put the Medicare situation back in. I don't think they did. I mean, that's what Hakeem Jeffries was talking about a lot yesterday, but I'll double check that in a minute. Let's go to number 15. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. Number 16 out of 20. The promises to the American people. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. If you remember, on top of that, number 17, keep men out of women's sports. Those two right there, at every campaign speech and every rally, President Trump spoke those words, and the place erupted in cheers because a lot of people are parents. Like, I'm a parent. Our baby's only 8 months old, but the point is, just imagine dealing with a public library or a school that is trying to force these ideologies onto our kids. I didn't understand it, to be honest with you, as much because I'm a new parent and I didn't get it as much. I knew it's wrong, like don't indoctrinate our kids. But now when you have your own kid, you're like, holy smokes, I really get it now. Let's go to number 18. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. A shout out to the University of North Carolina, UNC, when those students decided, you know what, they're having this pro-Hamas or pro-whatever rally on our campus. They're trying to take down Old Glory, our United States of America flag, everything that we have fought for, everything that flag stands for. And in the rain, those UNC students, they didn't care if their arms were getting tired. They were holding up that American flag, didn't let it touch the ground. Let's go to number 19 out of 20, almost wrapping this up, as securing our elections, including same-day voting, voter ID, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. Very important, and that may be the next big bill that's coming through. According to President Trump, he said we're looking at that as one of the next bills. And then number 20, to unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. To make America secure and safe again as well. So that wraps up the top 20, the only 20, the 20 core promises to make our country great again. And that is what we're monitoring here at this network, to see the reforms happen day in and day out. And it's a slow and steady pace, and we're looking forward to seeing more wins at that White House, as it's now 4/18, Friday, July 4th. Let's do this. Let's go to Angelpaste.com, one of our other great sponsors here out of Spring, Texas. They hire military veterans. You got the Miracle Cream there, and there's also other products on Angelpaste.com. Use the RSBN promo code. You'll get a percentage off. Longtime great sponsor here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, Angelpaste.com. All right, let's go with another sponsor, as it is 4:19 Eastern Time. We can go to that next one if you'd like at this point, as it's Friday, of course, July 4th, and we see there the great Mike Lindell, mypillow.com/RSBN, more than 2,000 products to choose from there. And then you've got this whole free shipping sale, or you have this whole free shipping sale. Just use the promo code RSBN for all of those discounts and some great products. My wife and I have a list at this point of MyPillow products that we want to buy. One of them is to get more of the Giza Dream Sheets. I'd like to get another pair of the slippers. And then there's the mattress topper we haven't tried yet. We're also in the market for some nicer towels, you know, some of those bigger ones or whatever, just really nice towels. So you have all of those choices right there, including the MyCross and that multi-use MyPillow and those bed sheets. So free shipping sale, mypillow.com/RSBN. Also the My Coffee, very good stuff. And we hope that you guys, you know, when you watch, I hope that you take into consideration whether it's donating to Right Side or whether it's purchasing these products, that we're not just doing this for our health. We really are hoping that you guys would purchase these products, not only for the great companies that we work with and partner with, but also some of those funds do go to this network. And that's great, because how are we able to afford a pool camera feed? How are we able to travel and go to different events? How are we able to keep things going without the dollars and cents? We're not bought and paid for by some woke big corporation out there. So we are 10 years young here at this network, and so glad that we have so many loyal viewers over the years, stayed with us all the way through. And a shout out to those of you that are moderators as well on the chats on Rumble, YouTube, and elsewhere. Your work is seen by us. We know that this is an important part. And to those of you that are typing right now on YouTube or Rumble and just saying all sorts of things, maybe things like, what time is the event going to start? What's going on next? Well, sometimes, to be honest with you, we don't have the answer, because we are constantly live, and as soon as we see the live feed, then we throw to it. There's no teleprompter guiding us right now or anything like that. But we do prepare, of course, our shows and bring you a lot of different footage, including this. Director, if we can go back to the comedic relief that is always good to have in this country. It's great to think about the wins under President Trump. It's great to think about the benefits of this big, beautiful bill. As we do know, we still want more cuts, in the sense of, hey, Doge and balancing the budget. We know that's important too. But right now, it's good to be able to be like, hey, you know what? We're 249 years young in this country. We still are a free country. We're born in the greatest country on earth. For some reason that happened, thank you, God. But then there are times to just enjoy and just have a barbecue with friends and family, or just have a relaxing weekend. And then there's times to just straight up laugh. Dan Scavenino Jr. with the comedic timing yesterday, when the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is speaking for hours and hours and hours on the House floor, blah, 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 talking all this stuff. This is what Dan Cavino Jr. posted in the middle of this record-breaking speech.
Effectively in Medicaid as we know it, gut parts of the Affordable Care Act. What you essentially are doing by stripping health care away from the American.
What do you say to that? If it was from someone else that posted it, I get it, but it was Dan Scavino with the White House. I mean, it was an awesome post. I reposted it on my Truth Social. Anyway, good times. That was a very funny video, in my opinion, especially if you watch some of the speech. I mean, it was an 8-hour, 45-minute speech by Hakeem Jeffries. And then it was time for the GOP's response, and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, gets up there and he goes, I once heard it said, and I'm going to paraphrase a bit here, that it takes a long time to build a lie and it takes a short time to tell the simple truth. And then the GOP clapped and cheered behind him, and then the Speaker of the House finished up his speech in a few minutes, and the bill was passed. All right, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back. I'm Matthew Alvarez here on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order.
Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm Matthew Alvarez. It's about the bottom of the hour, getting close there to 4:30 Eastern Time on this Friday, July 4th. Those of you that just joined us, happy 249th Independence Day. We're looking forward to seeing the live feed directly to that White House, and we will be there with you as we watch President Trump as we are looking to see him sign this big, beautiful bill. This is something that President Trump spoke about just yesterday on Truth Social, and then also outside of Air Force One. So according to President Trump, this is the event that'll be happening here shortly. And then tonight at about 8:30 Eastern, we'll be live again as the First Lady and the President will participate in the 4th of July fireworks that will be happening tonight. So looking forward to having you join us again a little bit later. Maybe after this live feed, if you guys are having dinner or a barbecue, you know what? You want to send some over to the studio. I'm kind of hungry. I want some barbecue chicken, a hamburger, and a hot dog maybe. But again, speaking of hot dogs, this guy, Joey Chestnut, out there at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on Long Island, I just wanted to watch just for a second. He ate 50 hot dogs in just 6 minutes, hot dogs and buns. And I watched it for 20 seconds and I said, man, that's pretty wild. 50 hot dogs in 6 minutes. Wow. All right, so 4/27, Friday, July 4th. So let's go to a video from Dan Cavino Jr. once again. He always has really good social media skills, of course, and great memes and great videos. So let's go to one about We the People that he posted this morning.
Worth remembering that all the celebration of this day is rooted in history. It was noted at the time that they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors. And that was more than rhetoric. Each of those men knew the penalty for high treason to the crown. We must all hang together, Benjamin Franklin said, or assuredly we will all hang separately.
Okay, that posted by Dan Scavino Jr. there at the White House. And there was a video we played the other day, too, of just a perspective that he gets of President Trump, you know, from Marine One or from Air Force One, and just these different angles that are just nobody really can get other than if Secret Service ever wanted to pull out their phone and record something. But, of course, they've got other things to do. So Dan Scavino and also Margot Martin, that team of media there, really awesome. And also, of course, Carolyn Levitt and the staff there at the White House Office of Communications. You think about these press conferences, and for Carolyn to go up there and handle it like a pro, because she is a pro. She's someone that is already on the right side of history, and it's easy. This is the thing that I think people get mixed up. The reason why I think there's so many teleprompters out there, I like a teleprompter here and there, but on the left side of the aisle, it's because if these people were to really just share what they really think about things, it'd look really bad. So they have to like doctor it. The producer has to write it a certain way that is just right to make it look like it's true, but it's false. here on the right side of history, we don't have to, I mean, it's good to write scripts. It's good to have a nice monologue where you start out and you say this and that. And sure, I'd like to do that someday. But the point is that we can just share our heart and our mind, just like President Trump does at all these rallies. He doesn't always use a teleprompter, and he just riffs it. So that's kind of what we do here at Right Side. But we don't just riff it just on left field and do commentary the whole time. Of course, if you've been watching, and hopefully you have, and hopefully you can share with these links to everyone out there, because when Monday shows up, Robert McNeely will be right here at the desk and talking about the visit from the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, to the White House there with President Trump. And then I'll be back in on Tuesday and Wednesday and on with tag teaming that coverage when we have various things going on in our country. So it's not all just a couple videos here and there and a couple live events. I mean, this is something that has turned into a news network. That's why it's called Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're broadcasting to you out there watching all across the country and in some places around the world, all of our experience, but all of our just desire for our country to really have that focus of God, family, and country. It's just, how more real can you be? And that's how President Trump is. He just tells it like it is. It's awesome to see that. And it's awesome to be on that right side of history and just really be like, hey, this is the truth. And what else are you going to do? The truth sets you free, according to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, to those that believe in Jesus. So 4:31 Eastern Time, bottom of the hour, Friday, July 4th. All right, so I believe we may have one more video from Dan Scavenino Jr. That may wrap up our videos that we're throwing to until we get to the White House there. Now, this one I didn't get to watch in full. I only just saw it here live and just asked the director if we could play it. But it looked pretty interesting, so let's watch it for the first time together, unless you saw it earlier. All right, come on now. I mean, I wish I had a whole audience in here chanting USA right now. That's awesome. What a great performance there. And that is one word passed through my mind. I don't know if I want to say it on TV, but bad A. You know what I mean? That was awesome. Great to see that there. Before we continue on and read some more of President Trump's Truth Social posts and get to some more news of the day, we do want to go to a couple of our sponsors, including allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. And some of the breaking news here at Right Side Broadcasting Network is the fact that All Family Pharmacy is actually, of course, known for standing up for medical freedom. They just launched, get this, the biggest sale of the year. So now through July 13th, it's buy one, get one free on Ivermectin, Mebendazole, hydroxychloroquine, the 200 milligram amount there. So that means whatever you order, they'll simply double it. So 30 capsules becomes 60, 90 becomes 180. You don't need any insurance. There's no red tape. You get the doctor's prescription included. So while big chains shut you out, All Family Pharmacy steps up, giving patriots the power to choose. So allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. You can act now, protect your health, and that buy one, get one offer ends July 13th. Let's also go to Colonial Metals Group, freegoldguide.com/RSBN. If you're looking for the gold silver option for your dollar, whether it's a little bit of your retirement or your savings, Colonial Metals Group is the spot that you can do that. You can protect your IRA, protect that 401k, all 100% tax-free. Speaking of free, you get a free gold guide in the info kit in the mail. So freegoldguide.com/RSBN, a great sponsor here at Right Side, as it's 4:34 Friday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day, 249th Independence Day. Hopefully you're having a good time with friends and family. And if you're hanging by yourself today, it's all good. We've all had those times too, and nothing bad, nothing wrong with that. But thanks so much for streaming in with us here at the network. 4:35. Friday, July 4th. Let's go to President Trump's post from yesterday, where it happened right when the big, beautiful bill passed. And he said this, quote, the Republicans in the House of Representatives have just passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Our party is united like never before, and our country is hot. We're going to have a signing celebration at the White House tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Of course, that's today. A little bit delayed, but he's the president. There's a lot going on, including a phone call with Vladimir Zelensky, according to the president, that happened earlier in the day. So we don't, maybe he's on a different call or that kind of thing. But looking forward to the live coverage here in a minute. As I continue on from the president, I know that's kind of small for you to read, so that's why I'm reading it here. All congressmen and women and senators are invited. Together, we will celebrate our nation's independence and the beginning of our new golden age. The people of the United States of America will be richer, safer, and prouder than ever before. Thank you to Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, and all of the wonderful Republican members of Congress who helped us deliver on our promises and so much more. Together, we can do things that were not even imagined possible less than 1 year ago. We will keep working and winning. Congratulations, America. Speaking of America, speaking of President Trump, and speaking of the 249th birthday for our country, America 250 was just kicked off yesterday, of course, with President Trump there. Let's go to one of those sound bites where President Trump was talking about promises made and promises kept.
To fund improvements and enhanced experiences across the park system, for this anniversary, I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low for Americans, and we're going to do that. The national parks will be about America first. We're going to take it America first for the national parks. And these are just a few of the many programs, initiatives, celebrations that will renew for our national pride. We're going to have great pride. I think we do have great pride. I think we have more pride and more spirit in our country right now than we've had in 50 years.
A great speech there in Des Moines, Iowa, and it was great to see Robert McNeely and Christina Loren there live as they were interviewing a number of everyday Americans, all of us out there, we the people, and it was awesome because it was a packed house, just like all of those rallies that we've covered over the years here at Right Side. So just a shout out to those of you that I've ran into out there on the campaign trail, and it's just great to be a part of this family, part of this thing called conservatism, and on the right side of history, that people that love God, love our families, love our country, and we want to keep doing that without anybody saying we can't. And that's unfortunately what happens in some of these other countries. If you are a certain faith in some of these countries, not good. Providing for your family, no, we're going to make you make this much only. Loving our country, well, I don't think they're going to love their country if they have a dictator over them in these other countries. That's what we don't see that with President Trump. We see the opposite. We see freedom. We see a big, beautiful bill that has to do with tax cuts, 13% decrease in taxes for anybody making $30,000, upwards of $80,000 a year. We see the aviation system going to have a huge overhaul. We see that the southern border, the wall is going to be complete. We see that some of these Customs Border Protection agents and Coast Guard and all that, there's bonuses, there's all this different stuff that is for America. And it's awesome to see it. And it's fun to cover it, to be honest with you, to be having this kind of historic president, someone that deserves to be on Mount Rushmore, someone that is in the same sentences, in my opinion, as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Donald J. Trump. Sometimes, you know, when you're so close to something, you don't get the full perspective of it. I like that 30,000-foot view thing. I say that phrase quite a bit here. I really do like that. I like, hey, we're in this right now. This is the big, beautiful bill. We want to see wins in our country. We want to see justice be served. We want our nation to be saved. We want those reforms to last, just like they are in El Salvador right now, and Hungary, and then in Poland and these other places around the world. We want it to happen so when President Trump is done being our president, that we have no worries going to the next administration. I think I just nailed it on the head. That's what we really want to have happen here. We want these reforms that President Trump is doing to be long lasting. I don't want this to be 4 years and done, and that was fun, woohoo, now we got to go back to the other crap. We don't want that. We want what President Trump is doing for the rest of the existence of this country until God himself, in my opinion, Jesus, returns. That would be great. We'll see what happens. We'll cover it either way. And conservative media, the left wing, they know what they're doing. They're trying to brainwash and lie all the time. No fun and boring. Anyway, 20 minutes until 5 o'clock Eastern time. Really looking forward to seeing the president here, especially the fact that he spoke about on Truth Social and on camera yesterday about this 4 o'clock. And he also said at 5 o'clock that there would be the actual signing. So as soon as we see any live feed, and as you guys know and have grown accustomed to, patience, right? Who likes patience? Well, we have to have it. And sometimes at various rallies over the years, it would say that President Trump would be speaking at 7 o'clock, and it wasn't until 8:30. That's just the way it is. So here at Right Side, we know how to tap dance just a little bit and usually bring on live interviews. But today, being a holiday, we're just really focused in on the president and the White House. And then later, we do know definitely at 8:30, we're starting live. If that changes at all, we'll let you know. But we do know at 9 o'clock, there is a July 4th fireworks special at the White House, outside there at the South Lawn. So the president, the first lady there. What I'm looking forward to outside of all of the great wins and successes just of today is the U.S. Air Force. I'm hearing that some of these jets are going to be doing a flyover. Love aviation. How awesome is it when you see, I don't know if it's going to be the Thunderbirds or if it's going to be the Blue Angels or if it's going to be an F-22 or what plane or planes will fly, but I did see the Blue Angels pretty recently. It was pretty awesome to see that show. I'd like to see the Thunderbirds. That'd be cool too. In the meantime, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back here on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
Welcome back. It is 4:44. We are looking live there at the White House, looking forward to seeing the one big, beautiful bill signed into law by the 47th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump. Looking forward to going there live as soon as the program starts, or if there's any activity, we'll take you there. In the meantime, we do know that Carolyn Levitt just posted a MAGA Minute. So let's take a look at that as we are having a great day here on Friday, July 4th. Thanks so much for streaming in. Looking forward to seeing this event happen. But let's go to Carolyn Levitt.
This was one of the hottest weeks in our nation's history, and I'm not talking temperature. Let's break it all down in this week's MAGA Minute. The jobs numbers for the month of June are in, and the United States added 147,000 jobs, exceeding market expectations for the fourth month in a row. Our unemployment rate fell to 4.1%, again defying expectations. The price of eggs has rapidly declined under President Trump, inspiring Waffle House to announce that it has removed its egg surcharge from the menu. In a huge win for women who play sports, the Department of Education secured an agreement with the University of Pennsylvania to remove men from women's sports, and it corrects the record in favor of sanity. President Trump continues to deliver trade deals. He announced a trade deal with Vietnam, which will give the U.S. total access to their markets for the first time ever. The president also visited Alligator Alcatraz in Florida, reaffirming our commitment to law and order in our country. And he visited the great state of Iowa to kick off a series of celebrations across the country to celebrate next year's 250th birthday of the United States. And finally, Congress worked hard to deliver the one big beautiful bill to President Trump's desk. This bill means no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and a big beautiful tax cut for everyone. It's on the way. And for those of you celebrating our nation's birthday, the cost of a 4th of July cookout for 10 people skyrocketed by more than 20% under Joe Biden, but that cost has dropped under President Trump. This 4th of July, we are celebrating not only the birth of our great nation, but the birth of a golden age of economic prosperity for you and your family. And the best is yet to come. We'll see you for next week's MAGA Minute. Happy Independence Day.
Well, there you go. Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt, if not the best press secretary of all time, there have been a number of great ones. She's definitely already at the top of the list, or at least in the top 5, because speaking of 5, it's only been 5.5 months since President Trump has been in office, and she had that position right out of the gate and doing a great job. It's always great to watch a press conference there and see how she handles some of the fake news questions. As we know, there are some conservative media, and they're great to see that and great to have that voice, because that is the voice of the nation. We see that happening, that the right side of history, the conservative media, is far greater than mainstream media, because there may be more money over there, or a few corporate heads that we like this CNN stuff, let's keep jamming that to the American people. Well, the American people are turning it off, and they're watching right side of history stuff, conservative media. So far greater, also because of the truth and common sense and standing up for what is right, and that's what we're doing. And we saw President Trump say fight, fight, fight on that day on J13. And what a huge moment that was for not only his candidacy and to become the president. He already was going to win. You think about it, landslide victories over the past 3 elections, except for the second one. We know what happened there. But anyway, so it's 4:49, Friday, July 4th. So what I'm thinking about is the fact that Carolyn just talked about Waffle House, and the egg surcharge is gone. My wife and I and our baby, we were just at Waffle House like 2 weeks ago. Great. It was fun. We liked it. Hey, waffles taste dang good. And it's good to save some money and have some good eats too. So hopefully you guys are having a good time out there. I'll tell you, I wish I was with you guys out there. If you're watching at an event right now, or maybe you're watching just at a picnic, or if you're not out with anybody and just watching here live, thanks so much for streaming in, because this is a family event. I mean, look at this. This is the great White House. This is the great president, Donald Trump. This is the one big, great, beautiful bill that he's going to sign into law. So we'll bring all of that to you in just a minute. Now, also, 2 days ago, the White House sent out, the communications office sent out to all the networks, including ours, that tonight, or now, in about 10 minutes, at 5 o'clock, the President and First Lady would participate in the military family picnic on the south lawn of the White House. So that's what this is. In the meantime, the President's going to sign the One Big Beautiful Bill at the military family picnic. And on top of that, I'm hearing that there will be U.S. Air Force jets doing a flyover. I haven't confirmed if it's during this or if it's going to be later tonight for the firework display, or both. I'll take a double dip of that. That'd be cool to see the U.S. Air Force just fly over the White House like that. I am leading to that this, while he's signing this bill, that the Air Force will be flying over right here in just a few minutes. So really looking forward to tossing it out there live as it's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Thanks again for watching wherever you're watching right now throughout our country, whether it's the East Coast time zone, Central, Mountain, West Coast. Some of you watching out there, way out there in Hawaii and in Alaska. Also, to those of you watching from other countries, we have seen people say to us on here, hey, I'm watching from this country or that country, including Australia the other day, Somalia the other day, Portugal. So it's awesome to see that this is a national broadcast, but also an international broadcast. And it's great because it's all about the common sense of this country and the Constitution of our land as we celebrate the independence of our land and of our people. 249 years ago today. We are 365 days out from the huge America 250 bash that'll be there at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. So those of you that watched last night, thanks for streaming, and thanks for streaming right now. If you're watching this on replay, thanks for watching whatever time it is, wherever you are right now. We're looking forward to a lot of wins in our country. And what we want is those of you small business owners out there, you want the cost of goods or the cost of production to go down. If you're in construction, you want the same. You want, let's be real, you want more money in your pocket and you're working hard for it. And so this president is working to get that done for you. Let's go to a couple of sponsors as well, as I'm hearing that we can go to callsheet.com/RSBN. So you see who will President Trump pardon this year. There's a number of people there, including Steve Bannon. But here's the thing. Sometimes whether the polls or whether these things are on there, they're just questions, right? It could be any question about pretty much anything, including politics and faith and sports and technology and all sorts of things. So callsheet.com is one of our great sponsors. So this is the largest U.S. prediction market, and it's all sorts of different questions out there, as I said. So these are real money markets, people trading on what they think will happen. They're often more accurate than polls because money's on the line. And Callsheet, we're told, has more than 1 million users and has facilitated over $2 billion worth of trades. So I check out the app on occasion, especially right here on Right Side, just to see what people are talking about. I mean, sometimes it's about the weather in New York City. It's all sorts of things that people are betting and trading on, whether it's inflation, elections, or stuff like even the Grammys, you know. I watch the Grammys once in a while. I haven't watched it in years, but it's a great way to sense where the public is leaning beyond the headlines and vibes. So if you want to try it out, Callsheet is giving a $10 to anyone who signs up using the link of callsheet.com/RSBN, and if you trade $100 there, so you get that $10. If you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, you can do so as well. All you have to do is go to rsbnetwork.com/donate or text RSBN to 855-575-7888. So I'm not into any guilt trip stuff at all with this because, to be honest, asking for money, right? It's not, who's comfortable doing that? But I will say, just the facts. There's no big corporation paying the bill here. So if you do like conservative media, obviously you watch all of our coverage for free. Just getting the pool feeds that we have costs quite a big penny there. So as we expand and continue to have hosts on the air and shows and just become more of a full-fledged news network. I mean, we are that now because we're covering it just as any network would. But if there's $1 or $2 or any more, if you'd like to give it to us, it's all for conservative media. It literally is. yeah, sure, it goes to some salaries and that kind of thing, but how do you gotta pay your workers, right? So RSBN, great company, of course, been around since 2015. So all those rallies, all those speeches, and all this live coverage here that we bring you, so glad to do it, and we'll continue to do it, especially when we have these great sponsors and great donations from many people across this country. President Trump to sign the big, beautiful bill into law. We're seeing some activity go on right now, the people with their cameras up. Why don't we go there live and see what's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Nowlin, please welcome the President's own United States Marine Band.
All right, so it's 5 o'clock Eastern time right now as the military picnic there will be taking place any minute from now as we await President Trump and the First Lady, Melania Trump. So going to be quite the event there. We'll bring it to you live in its entirety, of course. Beautiful to hear from the Marine Band. If you've ever gotten a chance to actually see this is pretty awesome stuff because I believe it's not too far from the White House there. You can actually go and watch the U.S. Marine Band, and they are awesome. And it's a really cool event there. They do all sorts of cool things there at that event. So great to see the Marine Band there outside the White House as you're looking live. Various vantage points, of course, of the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And again, I believe that the U.S. Air Force, some of the jets will be flying right over during this military picnic. This is going to be a military family picnic that just is kicking off right now. As we're standing by for the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief himself, President Trump, and his wife, the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. So this is going to be great to watch. And I know that a lot of you are watching right now on various sites right now. So hello to you. Thanks so much for streaming with us here on Right Side. And, you know, once today is wrapped up, and when we see even tonight at, it's now 8 o'clock Eastern that will be live for the firework display. The president will be in attendance there outside the White House with the First Lady. You know, we look into the weekend, right? Saturday and Sunday, and if there's no breaking news, then, you know, hopefully it'll be just a nice weekend. But as soon as Monday rolls around, our cameras keep on going. We have the fact that the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, will be at the White House on Monday. So we'll have live coverage of that. Robert McNeely will be in studio for that on Monday. I'll return to the studio on Tuesday morning and just, you know, sometimes we see that there's a press briefing from Carolyn Levitt, or if there's an executive order signing at the Oval Office, or if there's a press conference with the State Department or the Department of Defense, and just really following the news that's coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and any other stories that are out there that we monitor here at the network, including just the other day, that was awesome to see President Trump down in Florida at Alligator Alcatraz as he was touring that new facility for criminal illegal aliens when it comes to housing, processing, and deporting those criminal illegal aliens. There's an airport right next to the facility. And then just the other week in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, shout out to those of you from West Virginia and Oklahoma. I'll give you a reason why there's a shout out there in a second. But in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, a new Customs Border Protection agent training facility. So we see that this administration and the Department of Homeland Security very serious about sealing the border and the mass deportation operation. And though the people on the left may, cry foul, there's no foul being had. This is something that just like if any of us travel to another country, you'd have to have either a visa or a passport, both, how long are you going to be here, that kind of thing. You can't just come into a country without having the proper documents. It's just the way it is. It's great to see legal immigrants come to our country. And it's all part of the way it is. My grandpa, he's from Cuba. That's why I have the last name Alvarez. So it's just part of the way it is. But I was born in this country, a legal citizen, of course. You've got all the paperwork you need. But the point is, we're for legal immigration. Anyway, switching gears back to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, and Oklahoma. The reason why I want to give a shout out to those two great states, and trust me, I love all of the states out there. I've been to most of them. Still have a few on the list to go to, but West Virginia and Oklahoma, all red. Every county voting for President Trump in both of those states. So if you live in Tulsa, or if you live in Harpers Ferry, or in Charleston, West Virginia, or wherever you're from in those two states, shout out to you guys. Also, shout out to all of the swing states and all of the states that said, you know what, we're voting for the right side of history, or voting for President Donald J. Trump. If you live in a blue state, I know it's tough because you look at places like New York, right? New York City versus upstate New York, a lot more, and Long Island and Staten Island. There's a lot of Republican red going on there when it comes to voting for President Trump. And then you look at portions of California, big time MAGA country in spots. I know it's not easy to live in a blue state, but hopefully what will happen is more people will come to the right side of history and become more aware of all the lies that they've been brainwashed with the mainstream media. Anyway, let's shift it down a few notches here and just enjoy the fact that this is July 4th, 2025. It is Independence Day, 249th Independence Day for our country. Proud to be an American, proud as all get out to be an American, to be in the land of the free, and to listen to songs like from the late Toby Keith, Made in America. I've been listening to that song for the past couple days. If you have Pandora or Apple Music or Spotify, wherever you listen to your music, or if you just want to go to various sites, whether it's X or YouTube, Rumble, that kind of thing, type in Toby Keith, Made in America. Just a great song, I love it so much. And courtesy of the red, white, and blue and all of that from Toby. And we do miss him, and also people like Rush Limbaugh, two great patriots. But thank God that we have people that are really carrying that torch into the future of freedom for our nation. And we see that with the outsider himself, the commander-in-chief, the common sense leader, President Trump. So, hey, we're on the same team. Those of you on the right side of history, in the sense of the majority of the country that are common sense Americans that say, I love God, I love family, I love country. I'm one of those guys. I know a lot of you are out there watching as well. And I believe there are some, if you are an actual Democrat, if there are any of regular Democrats out there, if you know what I mean, not extremists, hopefully even the extreme ones can see the light one of these days. But, it really is great to be an American. It really is. The Constitution, some 249 years ago, 1776, it's just great to be a part of this land. And we're going to be seeing the president here in just a minute. Let's go to a couple sponsors as we await the president. Angelpaste.com out of Spring, Texas. Of course, you can use an RSBN promo code. You got the product right there, but there's a number of products as well as you check out Angelpaste.com, as it's one of our great sponsors. We have a number of great partners here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, as it's 5:07 Eastern Time. Here on July 4th. A shout out to those of you watching in the Central Time Zone, Mountain Time Zone, and out there in the Pacific Time Zone. Thanks so much for streaming in here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. A lot of great sponsors to thank and talk about. As you guys know, we only go to a few commercial breaks where there aren't very long commercials. So what we do here at Right Side is, of course, as hosts and anchors, correspondents, reporters, we just talk about the actual, the partnership and some of the products, of course, that are all great that we're seeing here at the network. So, all right, live there. And look at that bottom right corner there. You see the red, white, and blue, America, the American flag there, the United States American flag that was just put up there, a week ago? So it's awesome to see that in the wind right there, as this is the President and the First Lady participating any minute now in the military family picnic. So we'll go to that as soon as we hear any music happening or any kind of just live event. And wherever you're watching again right now, I hope that there's at least a couple places that are watching, whether it's at a store. Like the other day, a buddy of mine down in Florida, they said that at one of the Trump stores, they play Right Side Broadcasting Network. So if that's you, the Trump store down in Florida, I think it's, forget the location specifically, but thank you guys for watching. And if you're watching at maybe a picnic or something, hey, I wish I could take the tie off and join you there and have a burger, you know what I mean? But I do like being here and bringing this to all of you guys here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. As soon as we see President Trump and the First Lady, I'll stop talking and we'll go right there. Trust me, I want to see this whole event happen, including the U.S. Air Force jets flying over the White House. Now, Carolyn Levitt on X and Truth Social said this about the Big Beautiful Bill just the other day. President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill delivers on the common sense agenda that nearly 80 million Americans voted for, the largest middle-class tax cut in history, permanent border security, massive military funding, and restoring fiscal sanity. The pro-growth policies within this historic legislation are going to fuel an economic boom like we've never seen before. President Trump looks forward to signing the One Big Beautiful Bill into law to officially usher in the golden age of America. That from the press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, who maybe next week there will be a press conference. Of course, you can watch that kind of thing live right here on Right Side. So If you'd like, during just this moment here, all of your friends and family that you know are Trump supporters or Republicans or on the right side of history or the majority of the country, if you'd like, maybe send the link from Rumble or wherever you're watching right now and just send it to as many people as you know. Just text it over to them and say, hey, why don't you watch this? The president's about to sign the one big, beautiful bill. And then tonight, we'll see the president and the first lady just enjoying the fireworks there at the White House. So depending what time it is where you are watching, maybe you will still be able to watch your local fireworks and then still watch us here on Right Side and watch the fireworks with us. So, hey, you got to watch. I don't want to be here by myself watching the fireworks. You know what I mean? Come on now. Kidding aside. But looking forward to seeing my family a little bit this weekend. A lot this weekend, of course. But a little bit later was what I was trying to say between this event and the fireworks tonight. Because, you know, we can talk all about conservative broadcasting and talk about all these political things and our careers and all this stuff. Okay, it's all good. But the family, you remember I was saying God, family, country. And that is what it's all about too. Like having a family, getting married, having children, being a rebel, as Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk says, be a rebel, go get married and have kids, right? That's part of what it's all about here in this country. All right, let's go back to the White House as the band is now playing. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thanks for watching live here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. All right, so on X and on Truth Social, Carolyn Levitt just posted the one big beautiful bill is ready for signature. Photo credit to the best staff secretary. His name is Will Scharf, so the assistant to the president and White House staff secretary. If you'd like to see that post, of course, just X or on Truth Social, Carolyn Levitt's account. That just happened just a minute ago. It's a picture actually of her holding the big beautiful bill. So it's ready for signature. It's happening. We're going to see it here together on Right Side Broadcasting Network. In the meantime, let's look at some of the Truth Social posts from President Trump. As of right now, a lot of videos earlier just about July 4th. Let's go live now to Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Benier, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band, will now honor America with the singing of our national anthem, followed by a flyover consisting of a B-2 Spirit bomber from Whiteman Air Force Base, escorted by 2 F-35 fighters in honor of all our military personnel who participated in Operation Midnight Hammer and who are currently serving both home and abroad, protecting our nation's freedom.
Night.
ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump.
Well, thank you very much, and that is some sight, especially after what happened just a week ago. When you look at that big, beautiful plane, and the other ones were something. It was an incredible mission, and I think I can say very proudly, and I don't have to quote the polls, that our country is more proud right now than it's been in many, many years. We have pride, we have dignity, we have something that's happened miraculously so fast. You know that our military now is the most sought-after job there's ever been, serving in our military. 1 year ago, people didn't want to join our military. They didn't want to join our police, our firefighters. They didn't want to join anything having to do with our country. And now, as you probably know, the enlistment is at an all-time record. We're packed. We're full. And I just think that's so important because that was so sad 1 year ago when I heard those statistics. We had a different president, but nobody wanted to join, and now we're at a record. And I will say that I just left NATO, where we had a tremendous experience. They've agreed to put up over $1 trillion a year. They went from less than 2% to 5%, and nobody thought that was possible. And they told me very strongly, the leaders of a big part of the world, very respected people all, they told me that, 1 year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So that's the way it is, and that's the way we like it. And it's only going to get hotter, I promise you that. After that spectacular display of American power, let me just say that God bless the United States military, and God bless the USA. God bless the USA. And to all Americans, I want to wish you a very happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. This is going to be something special. There's spirit in this country. We haven't seen anything like it in many, many years and decades. Let me also express our gratitude to our magnificent First Lady. She worked very hard to make this all work. We have a fireworks display about 9 o'clock tonight. I hope you're all going to be around and watch it. I know our congressmen and our senators who are standing right here, so many of them, they did such a great job. They're going to be here. I guarantee you, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. Thanks as well to the National Park Service, the USO, and countless friends and distinguished guests. We have so many people in the audience that have so much to do with the success of our country. We've, I think, had probably the most successful almost 6 months as a president and the presidency. I think they're saying it was the best 6 months, and I know for a fact they're saying the last 2 weeks there has never been anything like it as far as winning. So as you know, 2 weeks ago, our incredible Air Force pilots conducted one of the most successful military strikes in all of history, Operation Midnight Hammer, and that's exactly what it was. It was a hammer. This evening, we're honored to be joined by 150 airmen and their families from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home of the B-2 bomber. And we've kept them a little bit on guard. We kept them a little bit, let's be a little bit quiet about it. But if you want to raise your hand very quickly, raise your hand, because you people are just incredible. They don't want to be in disguise. They say, we don't have to do that. They're looking at us like we're a bunch of babies. We don't have to be in disguise. We saw all those hands go up. Thank you very much. We owe you everything. Great job. Incredible. Just flawless. One of the most flawless military campaigns in the history of our country. If you remember years ago, they had helicopters crashing into each other. It was a disaster, the hostages in Iran. And we had just the opposite. We didn't have any crashes. We didn't lose any planes. We didn't lose anybody. Those beautiful planes that you saw were totally stealth. They flew right over the center of a very hostile country. and they never even saw it coming. And then they said, skedaddle. They dropped the bombs. They said, skedaddle. And that big sucker turned over like this on its side, and it got out of there. Well, I'll tell you what, how they do that, but they can do it. I asked our great General Kane, how do they do that? Do they really love doing that? Look at them, they're all laughing. And they said, do they really like doing it, sir? They can't wait. Better you than me. That's all I can say. It was a flawless mission. Every single bomb hit, and it was total obliteration. Total obliteration. Now, even the fake news is admitting that. They hated to admit it, but they had no choice. That was an incredible thing, and these heroic pilots showed our enemies what it means to fly, fight, and win. To every service member who supported that mission, and we have many of them here, we've made we've made you proud by supporting, but you've made us even prouder by having the courage to get in those gorgeous machines and fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world. And we salute you and we honor you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And we're also honored and delighted to be joined by hundreds of service members and military families. Those families are the best we have, from all across the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. I love the Space Force. You know why? Because we're the ones that did it. It's turned out to be a very invaluable force, actually. The Coast Guard and the Marines are incredible people. On behalf of our entire nation, this 4th of July, we thank you for keeping America safe, strong, sovereign, and free. Thank you very much for being here. Great honor. And stick around for the fireworks. And our country's had so much to celebrate this Independence Day. As we enter our 249th year, America is winning, winning, winning like never before. We're not, I'll tell you, we're in a category now that's where we've wanted to be for a long time. We suffered with 4 horrible years of embarrassment. Afghanistan, maybe the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We're never going to let a thing like that happen again. Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes. Almost $15 trillion. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything even close. The stock market's at an all-time high. Jobs are at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high, and we're going to keep it that way. We have the greatest country in the world, and we're back. We're back like nobody thought possible this quickly. I thought it would take maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. And we did it in less than 6 months. We are back and strong. We've restored American strength and deterrence on the world stage. We're respected again. The world is respecting us again. When we did NATO, those leaders came up to me and they said, you know what, we're going to go to a new level of spending because you're requesting it, sir. They didn't talk to your last president like that, I can tell you. They didn't spend any money. They didn't spend anything. In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet when I signed the one big, beautiful bill. And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that, because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military and civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them. When we were doing it, John Thune and Mike Johnson right there, I see Mike, what a job they've done. What a job they've done. But you know, it was supposed to be in 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different bills. And I was on one of the fake news shows and I said, let's do it in one beautiful, big, we want one big, beautiful bill. I said that to this newscaster, and I think a lot of the congressmen and senators were watching, and they said, let's name the bill that, the one big, beautiful bill. And that's what we did, and what we've done is put everything into one bill. It's never happened before. It's the biggest bill of its type in history. We've never had anything like that before. Nothing like that they thought would be possible to get passed. And actually, I liked it because we had so much in there that no matter who you are, there was something in that bill that would make your congressman or your senator or your congresswoman, much more importantly, raise their hand and support, right, Lisa? So that was something, and it was really something special. So the American people gave us a historic mandate in November. We won everything. We won the swing states, all 7 swing states. We won every one. That rarely happens. We won the popular vote. We won the districts, 2,750 to 505. That's why when you look at a map, it's all red, a little blue on each end, but it's all red. And by the way, red means Republican, just in case. But we made promises, and it's really promises made, promises kept, and we've kept them. This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy. And I have to say that the people are happy. They're happy. And I listened to a broadcast, and I read a couple of articles. They have the Democrats, they should have voted for it. They didn't vote for tax cuts. They didn't vote for taking care of people. They didn't vote, not one vote. And we knew that because their hatred of either the country or me or both is so great. They didn't vote at all, and it's terrible. But I just have to say, they have a routine. It's terrible, they say. Terrible, terrible. You saw that guy standing up for hours yesterday. He didn't know what he was even doing there. I say, when's he sitting down? He had a towel. He's wiping his face. That's not too elegant. But what is he? I said, what is he doing for so long? And he couldn't criticize the bill. He was criticizing everyone else and everything else. So they've developed, and this is according to the news media, they've developed a standard line, and we can't let them get away with it. Oh, it's dangerous. Oh, everybody's going to die. It's actually just the opposite. Everybody's going to live. This is just the opposite. And I just want you to know, if you see anything negative put out by Democrats, it's all a con job. And they said, and they compared it to just like the con job of Russia, 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 and all of the other things they did. The 51 intelligence agents said, and the laptop from hell, it came from Russia, they said. No, it didn't come. A lot of things come from Russia. That didn't come from Russia. And it was all proven out to be a fake job, and that's what they're doing with this. So we just have to look forward, fellas, look forward and just say what it is, because it's the most popular bill ever signed in the history of our country. Whether you're military or anybody else, this is the most popular bill ever signed. And it includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut, $1.7 trillion, and yet you won't even notice it. Just waste, fraud, and abuse in American history. So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history. We want to have strong borders, and the only thing is we want to have great elections, too. You need strong borders and elections, and my people have promised me that we're going to go into elections, and we're going to make sure they're not rigged, that they're not sullied. We're going to make sure that the elections are going to be fair. You need two things. You need strong borders, and you need fair elections. Now, we're going to make sure on the elections also, and our armed forces are one of the most vital military modernizations of all time. It will take place. So we rebuilt our military in our first term, and now we're going to modernize and remodernize our military, including building a great golden dome all over our land, so that if they get nasty with us, it's going to be knocked down. It's going to make any of the golden domes, they call them the Iron Domes, we're calling ours the Golden Dome, because we did the Iron Domes, and we do sort of everything, if you want to know the truth, but this blows it away. We're going to keep you safe. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and many of them are here, and I'm not going to mention all their names because we'll be standing here, but I have to mention a few. And especially I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's been incredible. We have somebody that it was a passion. I think he actually loved it. It wasn't easy, but he loved it. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's right here. Speaker, thank you very much. What a job, and he worked so closely with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's a fantastic guy. And those two are a team that is not going to be beat. When you look at them and you look at their counterparts on the other side, it's not even close. I want to thank both of you people for doing an incredible job. Thank you very much, John and Mike. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a brave man. Steve, you know, he suffered a tragedy a number of years ago. I was at his hospital bedside that night with Melania, with our First Lady, and he had no chance. The doctor said he has very little chance, and you look better today than you did then. You didn't look particularly good that night, I will say. But I learned one thing. His beautiful wife loved him. She was a disaster, right? I told him, I said, Steve, I can only tell you one thing. I was with your family and I was with your wife, and your wife was devastated. She loves you. I've seen a lot of wives that, you know, they don't seem to be so concerned in those situations. That's the kind of wife you don't want. But you have a great, beautiful wife who was really there, and you really have done. You're a very brave guy, and Mike and John and everybody that's standing with you knows it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. House Majority Whip, this is a guy who is great. When I have a problem, I call him up, and he gets it done. He's a tough cookie. I don't know why he's not the governor of Minnesota. He comes from Minnesota. He's like, oh, look, he goes, no, I don't want to run for governor. You know, come to think of it, I think that's a good idea. You would win so easily. The guy is terrible. You would win. You just have to take a look at that handsome face of yours, and you'd win. Tom Emmer, everybody. He did a great job. I think you should consider that, although we don't want to lose him, do we? We don't want to. Let's say we are. I think say we are. What a job you did. And Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who's incredible. Senate Finance Chairman Mike Crapo. Thank you, Mike. What a job. What a job. He knows that tax stuff. Him and Jason, they really know their stuff. Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. What a good man he is. I see a poll. He's running, and I see a poll. He's 24 points up. That's not bad, Lindsey. That's not bad. 24 points up in the great state of South Carolina. House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith. What a job. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. These people are great. These are great patriots. I have to call them out. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington. Jody, thank you very much. Jody has been good right from the beginning, and so many others, and they're all here, and they fully understand. They'll never speak to me again, but that's okay. It is what it is. But I just want to thank everybody. A lot of senators here, a lot of congressmen and women here. Lisa, thank you very much, by the way. I have to thank you. Thank you very much. You've been fantastic. So this bill will fuel massive economic growth and lift up the hardworking citizens who make this country run. The factory workers, farmers, mechanics, waiters, waitresses, police officers, firefighters, coal miners. Coal is back. Beautiful. I said you can't use the word coal unless you precede it by saying clean, beautiful coal. China's right now building 68 coal generating plants, and we're putting up wind. It doesn't work, I will tell you. Aside from ruining our fields and our valleys and killing all the birds and being very weak and very expensive, all made in China. You know, I noticed something, that with all of the windmills that China sends us, where we waste our money because it's the most expensive energy, I see that, they make about 95% of them, the wind turbines. I have never seen a wind farm in China. Why is that? Somebody check that out. Tom Emmer, would you please check that out? But all the coal miners we love and the truck drivers, in this act, we have officially made the Trump tax cuts permanent. That's the largest tax cut in the history of our country, added to substantial other cuts, which is you're going to see like a rocket ship. We're setting all sorts of economic records right now, and that's before this kicks in. After this kicks in, our country is going to be a rocket ship economically, and we've delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And that's why when you hear things like that, this is the most it's the biggest bill of its kind ever done by far. But we are going to have a situation, we are going to have something where people are going to realize the level of success and popularity of this bill. And sort of to close it out, it makes the child tax credit permanent for 40 million American families. And to increase the car affordability, it makes interest on a new car payment. So this had never happened before. You buy a car, you borrow money, you're allowed to deduct for income tax purposes your payment of interest. You're allowed to deduct it. It's never happened before. So run out and buy a car. But I have to tell you, it's only good, Mike, if it's made in America. If it's made in another country, you don't get it. And to protect 2 million family farms and other small businesses, we're eliminating the estate tax or the death tax. So if you want to leave your farm or your small business, but the farms are really, they have been devastated, to your children, if you love your children. By the way, if you don't love your children, don't even listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But if you love, would you live? Yes, I think you love your child. This one loves Barron. So I don't know if we're a small business. I think we're not. I'm not sure that we qualify. I'm sorry, darling. But, you know, it was devastating. Farmers, they had to go out and borrow money. And by the way, is that Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi, raise your hand. Thank you, Pam, for being here. Attorney General, she's done an incredible job. So there won't be any, think of this, there won't be any death tax. You're not going to have to go borrow money. Your parents pass away and the farm goes into the bank's hands and gets foreclosed. That's not going to happen. And with 100% expensing for new investments, we're cutting taxes for every manufacturer who builds, expands. And we have expansion at the highest level that we've ever had it. We have hundreds of factories, including car plants and AI. It's coming into our country at levels that we've never seen. And to conclude, not only will we have the strongest economy on earth, we're also going to have the strongest borders on earth. And last month, did you see the number? 0 people crossed our border. 0 illegal people. And that's after Joe Biden let 21 million people, many of them people from gangs and prisons and drug lords and people that were mentally unbalanced, they let them into our country. We're getting them out at record numbers, and we have an obligation to, and we're doing it. So as we approach the 250th anniversary of America's founding exactly 1 year from now, we are creating an economy that delivers wealth for the middle class, a border that is sovereign and secure, and a military that is unmatched, unequaled anywhere in the world. And you saw that. And what a beautiful sight that was, especially after watching what they did just a short while ago. The golden age of America is upon us. We are in the golden age. It's going to be a period of time, the likes of which I don't think this country has ever experienced before. We're going to make America great again, and it's happening very fast. We love you. We thank you for being here. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. And First Lady, I want to thank you. You have been unbelievable. You think it's easy being First Lady? It's not. Thank you all very much. Happy 4th of July. God bless you all. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to sign the bill now.
gavel we use to enact the big, beautiful bill, and I want you to have that for your flag.
Are we ready? We're ready. Are you ready? Good. Have a good time. Hi, Margie. There you go. 28 points. That's a lot of points. Good job. Richard Beck. Absolutely. And we have some more. We'll give you some more. Our great first lady. Come here. Oh, yeah. You would have worked me in. Scott. Congratulations. I'll let you know the guy. I don't know. Honey. Now you got to go in. Get the gavel.
You're very trusting.
Give that guy a raise. Give that guy a raise. Thank you very much, everybody. And I want to thank the people up here. They're unbelievable people. Mary, hi, Mary. How's Scott doing? Good job? Scott, how's the economy? Okay? Wonderful.
It's going to get better.
From South Carolina. It's been amazing. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
I'm not so sure that's a good idea. You got a good doctor.
He weighs about 20 pounds. That's how big it is.
Mr. President. Mr. President. Come, Mr. President. Okay, thumbs up.
just trying to fly, raise a daughter and a son, give your loving to them, everything to everyone, up in that I'm riding, all business in my suit, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. Well, I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for my future, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call it sick on Mondays when the weekend repeat after me. Everybody say,
Well, it is official. It is no longer the one big beautiful bill. It is now the one big beautiful law signed by President Trump moments ago. This July 4th, 2025. Quite awesome to see the president there shaking so many hands. Remember, this is a military family picnic that was scheduled for 5 o'clock Eastern there on the south lawn of the White House. Also, later tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, we'll be live right here at Right Side as we'll be watching the fireworks there at the White House, outside of the White House there with President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. So looking forward to seeing that a bit later at 8 o'clock. In the meantime, all of this brought to you by some great sponsors here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, including All Family Pharmacy. Some breaking news with All Family Pharmacy, of course, known for standing up for medical freedom. They just launched their biggest sale of the year. Now through July 13th, it's buy one, get one free on Ivermectin, Mebendazole, and hydroxychloroquine, all 200 milligrams, the amount there. That means whatever you order, they'll double it. So 30 capsules becomes 60, 90 becomes 180. No insurance, no red tape. Doctor's prescription is included. So while the big chains are shutting you out, All Family Pharmacy is stepping up, giving patriots just like you the power to choose. allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Protect your health. The buy one, get one free offer. It will end on July 13th. So a great company there, allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Also, Colonial Metals Group. Great to have a sponsorship with all of these sponsors here, including Colonial Metals. freegoldguide.com/RSBN gets you that info kit in the mail. Gold and silver as a backup plan, protecting your IRA, your 401k with gold, all 100% tax-free. freegoldguide.com/RSBN. Thanks so much for streaming in for this live coverage here from the White House. Obviously here headquarters is in Alabama for Right Side Broadcasting Network, but always great to see the beautiful red, white, and blue, the brand new flags that are outside of the White House. And it was great to see President Trump there with First Lady Melania Trump. Now at 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be seeing them again as it's scheduled for a 9 o'clock kickoff there with the fireworks. But for that hour, we'll replay some of that speech as well and also bring you the latest information that we're seeing here at the network. So looking forward to seeing you a bit later. Hopefully it's now time for dinner for a number of you around the country. I know I'm really hungry. My wife is cooking burgers, so I'm looking forward to going to eat some hamburgers here on this July 4th, the 249th Independence Day for our country. We do once again want to thank the following sponsors: allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. It's a good percentage off there with the buy one, get one free as well. When it comes to the great products there at All Family Pharmacy. Colonial Metals Group, freegoldguide.com/RSBN. Also callsheet.com/RSBN, another great sponsor here at the network. And finally, angelpaste.com out of Spring, Texas. So thank you guys so much for sponsoring this broadcast. We'll see you back here tonight at 8 p.m. for the July 4th fireworks display outside the White House with President Trump. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thanks again. We'll see you at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.